122-foot cable-like sensor that takes measurements at 800 additional points. The sensors measure temperature, strain, and vibration in the concrete. The data allow researchers to compare the actual performance of the bridge with computer simulations of how it is supposed to behave in hopes of identifying structural problems in the bridge before they become serious and costly to repair. Okay, so that was the introduction to the Strakers Bridge. And now let's go to the other part. So when we speak about the monitoring, either when we use dense arrays of sensors, or we have, for example, parts of building to monitor, or fleet of bridges, we definitely speak about a lot of data, about rapid data collection. We collect heterogeneous data, and we are somehow overloading the data. So the good question for owner of the structure or for civil engineer is how to do the data visualization, how to do the access to the data, data analysis, and modeling. And obviously this is not easy, and for this you need some more professional approach. And cloud computing can be a solution for this, and this is how actually IBM Research and Princeton University got in touch and decided to work, they work on their research, which is platform for this cloud computing, and Princeton is more expert in structural health monitoring. So IBM actually already had large experience in monitoring data centers, and here you can see online image of a data center. So that what they monitor in the data centers is essentially temperature. That what you see on this layout are mostly servers and computers, and the red dots and green dots are sensors. And while they monitor the temperature, they do it in order to improve the energy efficiency in the data centers. So what is behind? Behind you have some sensors that can measure, and you can see in real time the values. You can change different units. So for example, if you don't like Fahrenheit, but you prefer Celsius, you can change it. And you can also, that was very interesting, you can choose type of the data analysis. So you're interested for the overall heat, and then based on appropriate model that you have, you can then see, for example, what is the temperature distribution inside the data center and on the different levels of the data center. So this is kind of 3D slicing of the data center. So obviously they do monitoring, and they do it for a purpose of energy efficiency, and we do structural health monitoring, and we do it for our purposes of optimized maintenance of the structures, improvement of safety, and so on. So this is where the idea came to combine Strakers Bridge project that you briefly saw in the introduction in the movie with their MMT software, which stands for mobile measurement technology, in order to try to see at what level we can integrate to and use and benefit from the cloud computing. So that's what you see on this screen. Probably needs a little bit more changes in the design, but essentially you see the layout of the Strakers Bridge, the top view, and I just highlighted a few positions of the sensors, and then they are highlighted here, and those spots that you see here are actually sensors, and they are related to the neighboring position. So if you would like to move those points, you simply can disconnect from one line, quickly move the point at a location that you like, and then save it. This time we'll not do it, we just go back and work as before. Also, I would like to point that for every sensor, you actually here you have 5 points. You can have much more if you want. And those 5 points are yellow is raw data, red is temperature, then the blue is total strain calculated, so the data is automatically processed and calculated. And then we have the thermal strain, which is essentially temperature multiplied by thermal expansion coefficient. And then we have elastic and rheological strain, which is in gray color here. And that what we see here is difference between the total strain measured by the sensor and the thermal strain. So essentially those are all virtual sensors that you get in real time by direct calculation of the real sensors, or the values of the real sensors that you get. You can do many other things. So for example, if you do lower sensor minus upper sensor in the cross section divided by the distance, you'll get the curvature, you can get the curvature distribution, thermal gradient distribution, and so on. So to visualize the data, you can click on the probes, and then you get all the values at the points where you used to have them. If you're interested to look more in detail, you can zoom in, and then here you can see this particular spot of the data. That what also you can do is we can show the subviews, and let me just zoom it one more time. I don't know why this stage should stay. Now if I click on a particular sensor here, I can see in real time what happens at that location. So I can see live data. I can also upload, for example, last 24 hours. You have to click load. And here we see the last 24 hours. If I go to the lower levels of the zoom, maybe the data will be better presented. Let me see. I had to change computer, I had some issues with mine. So another thing that is important to notice is that we can actually also export the data very easily. This is always interesting to do. So we can go to the table, and then when we do the table, we simply can export the data, giving some output file. And obviously, if you're interested for some particular time to see some historic data, we can here load the time, so you can see, for example, what happened yesterday, which was September 10, 13, let's say around 10:00 a.m. So you don't have to put the time which is precisely the time of the measurement, it will find the closest time, and now you saw that the data was changed. Also, you could see the color coding that actually tells you how close or how far we are from some threshold values. So you see that at that time we were closer to the thresholds, but now if I go back to the real time, we see that I'm farther from those thresholds. So I think this is in general what I wanted to show you. So I think that for monitoring large projects or monitoring, imagine that you are owner of multiple buildings or bridges, definitely you're not interested in spending too much time in managing the data. That's what you want. You want quick access to the data, quick visualization of the data, and in need of data analysis, quick export of data. And I think that this software has excellent platform. This is just start of our research, but it already has great potential, and it facilitates my life a lot, because over the last 5 years I was the one and my student who was exporting the data, visualizing and doing all this analysis, and now everything is automatic and very convenient. Okay, with this I will finish. Thank you very much.